Hello, everybody. I think I'm live. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether this is 1980, 1933, 2018. Fuck 2018. I've had enough of it already. Let's stick here in 1933. Beautiful New York City. Where I mute Steve because he's typing too loud. And as we continue on here in beautiful 1933, we left on a bit of a cliffhanger last time, where we had a group that was pleasantly doing some very Cthulhu-esque research in the New York Public Library. We had another half of the group because, hey, who doesn't like to split the party? These guys don't. They love to do it. They split the fucking party all the time, which is great for me. They're going to pay for it tonight. So let's see what happens. We have one group at 116th Street at the apartment of Syl Jefferson. They are facing one Joseph Dietrich. And who knows what else. We have the group at the New York Public Library who is facing Joseph Dietrich and who knows what else. But before we get into that, we need to know who these people are. Why do they keep splitting up? Why would you walk away from the safety of numbers in dangerous 1933? Answer this question, Allison. Go.
Hey everybody, it's Allison. I play Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And I don't know that I have a really good answer to that question, Greg, other than to say that I've thought of 5 different ways to blow this library up in the last week. And I'm not even sure quite which one to try out yet. I'm really excited about all of them. So we'll see.
Have I mentioned it's a bastion of knowledge and the collected works of really a blossoming American culture. A lot of the, are really the American, the essence really of America. A lot of it is stored here in this grand edifice known as the New York Public Library.
Sorry, I was lost in secondary explosions for a second there. What was that?
Trying to hurt me,
Good. Excellent. Lauren, how are you going to fuck up this world? Go.
I'm not. I never mess up anything. I never make bad decisions, especially when I'm not gin drunk. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm Not So Ginger on Twitter. Tonight, I am playing Miss Sabella Maria Absava's esoteric and antiquarian bookstore on the beautiful Lower East Side of Manhattan, and I'm not regretting any of my decisions yet. But soon, probably. But not yet. Hello.
And after that definitive statement, let's go over to the resident sniper. Steve, how's Dwight going? Does he have his negotiation skills? Because if you look just above you, you guys lost your silver-tongued devil for this evening.
We did. Hey. I play Dwight Burke, Steve Wilson. Why we split the party up? Splitting up is hard to do, but, we kind of, we try to get shit done, Greg. We're completionists. We want to make sure that all our bases are covered and all our grounds are kept and yada, yada, yada. And as far as our persuasion skills, yeah. Not having Strider or Sawyer tonight is going to be a difficulty, but hopefully guns can get us out of some sort of trouble here.
Hey, when have they failed you before? As mentioned, we would now be going to one Strider to tell us about his guy Elijah Sawyer, but Strider has had to take the night off. He's been called into work. My man is dealing with 2018 problems, and it's in 1933. We wish we could reel him in, but he'll be back next week full of piss and vinegar like only Strider can be. But speaking of piss and vinegar, actually the exact opposite. What's the opposite of piss and vinegar? Perfume and water? Anyway, Lindy, tell us about Greta.
Well, if guns won't work, maybe boobs will. We'll find out, because we got a sniper on one side and Dietrich on the other. I feel like if Dwight handles the sniper, maybe Greta can handle Dietrich? I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll see. I'm very excited for tonight. I will be playing Greta von Kraus, still in her fancy evening wear from her night out before. She was just taking a nap and then all this happened at once. So yeah, let's find out what happens.
Okay, so let's for all you watching at home, let's recap the plan as it stands. We have America's Flying Sweetheart ready to blow up the New York Public Library in numerous ways, several different treed-off branched ways to do this. We have Sabella Ives, who's pretty sure that one thing will work, and if that doesn't, she could do another vague thing. That's not going to work. And we get the sniper who says guns, and we get the doctor who says boobs. Boobs. Ladies and gentlemen, Cthulhu. All right.
Serious planning going on here.
I hope
God,
you
I love this
guys
game so much.
You guys had a week to get ready. a
Stop
week
judging
to
us.
get ready.
How do you know that hasn't been my plan for the past week? It's just to seduce Dietrich.
I'll be honest with you. That's the one that has the most traction in my mind right now as being a
I was about
possibility.
to agree. That's probably the best bet.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Right. Okay. So before we get started and we do a little recap, I want to tell you guys how you can help out these Olympians. And if you just listen to their plans, you might want to help them out a little bit. You
We're
can
fine.
donate to give them crits. You can
not
donate
fine.
to give them additional magic items. Hey, if you want to go against them, you can donate for me to introduce a monster, sanity loss, whatever you'd like. Your heart's content, everybody. I am here to simply dispense the story as it is created. Excuse me. And so as we get going in all of this, a couple other things that we can do. As soon as we hit 3 followers, everybody on screen gets advantage. As soon as we hit 2 subscribers, everybody on screen gets advantage. But enough of that. I don't want them to get any of that. This is for them to RP their way out of, because this is a moment. And we will see if this is a moment to remember as being a positive experience or a moment to remember where the Olympians vow never to repeat the sins of the past. We shall see. But last week on Project Athena, we had the group kind of come back home, get their druthers about them in New York City as they kind of recollected and reconvened in 116th Street, Harlem, in the apartment of Syl Jefferson. There they learned a couple things. They decided to split up, go on to a research trip to the New York Public Library. Numerous things were found out there. Kate learned a lot about her death as it pertained to the events of season 1. She found out that Jack Parsons has left the country looking for her. She also found out that Calamity Jane is en route by Wally, bringing the plane from the west back to the east. Now, with the other people just basically rested at 116th Street, getting the weariness of the trials and tribulations of the last several days to kind of soak away and ease away. But as is the case here in 1933 with our Olympians, we had an attack as they were identified as having been in 116th Street. And there was a sniper fight between the resident sniper of the Nazis, one Gruber, and the resident sniper of the Olympians, one Elijah Sawyer. And Elijah Sawyer was able to fire and apparently wound the enemy sniper, but it was only a delaying tactic as, $15 coming in from Oz. Let's see what Oz wants. Normally this is going to be bad for you guys. I hope it is. Boom, boom, boom. My man. Critical successes to all of you from my man. Oz, you get an extra one there. For 15, you get, so give somebody else a critical success. I can pick, or you can pick. He can give it to me. We'll save Striders. As we are going through this, what ended up happening, though, at the library probably takes a bit more precedence to the resting on 116th Street, as Kate and Sabella, in addition to uncovering information there about the tug Pegasus and where it was docked, very near to the Ives Antiquarian Esoteric and Antiquarian bookstore. I got it right. I've been drinking. It's Easter. So anyway, in addition to that, they were able to find out several other little plot points that we will jump to when the time arrives. But they also had a visitor in one Phil Castillo, who required the aid of Sabella Ives to prove his innocence to the Mafia, as they had been thwarted and silver-tongued by one Elijah Sawyer, who was conveniently absent this evening. In addition to that, with their battle with Dietrich at the end of the episode last week, Dietrich was advancing on Kate and Sabella, and out of one of the aisles came a fiery figure, one emblazoned Phil Castillo, as he warned Dietrich, hate to sour your day, Kraut. So he was there between the Olympians and Dietrich, the former Olympian. But first we're going to start at 116th Street as we drill back in and we reset the stage of Syl Jefferson's apartment, as we have Greta, Elijah Sawyer, who is now tending to Albert Einstein, trying to Einstein got wounded in the last episode, and he's trying to treat him and stabilize him, as Greta is across the room and potentially still in the kill field of the sniper across the street. Greta.
Oh, yeah.
Dwight, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I believe first I'm going to inject Dwight with some Blitzschnell.
That's a good move.
Okay, Blitzschnell coming in.
Are you muted, Greg?
I'm muted for you guys. I'm just muted for you guys. I was not muted for everybody else. Okay, so Blitzschnell into Dwight. Explain to the audience what Blitzschnell does.
It gives you superhuman fast reflexes, specifically in combat, so that you may fire, or fan the hammer as you will, at the max range of your weapon.
That was an extreme roll.
All right,
Okay,
and
so-
I gotta do the pharmacy.
Yep, pharmacy.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so this is the first time we've had an extreme roll on both sides for both the administration of a dangerous biologic and the acceptance into the body of one foreign concoction by the doctor. So as it stands right now in D&D terms, you are under... Scrat, thank you, my man. We'll join the streams. With the, what's coming in for you, Dwight, you are under the effects of what would essentially be the haste spell in D&D. So you are able to take twice the number of actions should we enter a combat turn in the next few minutes. So, yeah, fan the hammer on a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
It could happen. We could see
And
it.
now, and the gun is also gonna go,
Grease gun time.
Herr Dietrich, is that you?
Hello, doctor.
How's it going?
I'm fine. It's a little humid, but how are you?
Well, I was taking a nap and then the sniper struck, so, it could be better, but it's not terrible.
Well, wonderful. After your betrayal of Zoraik, perhaps you would like to make amends by telling me where Ruby Foster is.
Honestly, I have not seen her since before my nap.
Boop, 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 boop.
Because I haven't, because I was...
Dwight will be looking out the window for the sniper.
Spot hidden for me.
Gotcha.
Where is she? Is she with your other group at the library?
I do not know. It is possible.
My dear doctor, would you be willing to give yourself up?
Dwight kind of like go, but he's kind of like motions to Greta to keep him talking.
In what way?
In the way that you are not going to be aggressive towards us when we come in and kill everyone else that's in that room.
Oh, now why would you kill Einstein?
He is a traitor to the Reich. You are as well, doctor.
Quick question, Jeej. Can I listen out the door? Can I hear if he's got somebody else?
Yeah, you can. This will be an extreme though, because he's like a harder extreme to kind of get an idea. Yeah, so go ahead if you want to. Not enough. He's kind of dominating the audio out in the hallway. You can't hear whether or not there's anybody out there. He seems to be just one voice in a forest, perhaps. So, my dear doctor, would you like to rejoin the Reich after your vacation?
Lauren's face right now. I'm just kidding.
We will deal with her soon enough!
Well, it is a tempting offer. I have not done much sightseeing since we have gotten here. I will admit, and the food is rather disgusting. But I do not believe that this is the exact time to be negotiating such terms. However deadly the situation seems to be, I believe that I will be sticking with the Olympians for now.
Are you sure?
You're very considerate, though. Thank you.
What appears to be today's newspaper slides under the door. And it is, you can see that there is something in there written in German. And does anybody else in this room speak German?
Einstein? But he's unconscious, right?
He's unconscious, right? That's it, right? Jess, Greta? Okay, Greta, well, coming over in chat.
Oh no! I'm so scared. I'm so terrified. She's just trying to buy time for Mr. Dwight.
And
Okay.
so you read that as it comes through, and almost as if the voice of the man delivering it is right down by the crack at the bottom of this door, almost as if he's pressing his lips against the crack itself. He says, "Are you sure, Doctor?"
I don't know what to do. This newspaper. I'm looking over at Dwight. Does he look like he's ready with the sniper rifle?
Yeah, I had a hard
The
success on
other
that.
sniper? Okay.
Hard success on the spot hidden.
All right, good.
You see nothing from across the street. The prior nest is empty.
Gruber needs to go.
Well, as these two are having a conversation, Dwight, why Sawyer would ever do this, I don't know. But, he's trying to get him to. Is Syl Jefferson over there with?
Yeah, and we'll consider for the sake of Sawyer in this particular scene, he is an NPC or a keeper-controlled PC. He will not be doing anything that puts him in the line of danger.
Right.
Because
is there any way he could get Einstein and Syl Jefferson into the room with Jack?
Yeah, he can do that. He'll pull him over into the bedroom.
That's where he would direct. So Dwight is going to. So I failed my listen test. Well, not failed, but.
I mean, you can hear him.
Greta is gonna pull the newspaper closer and make the sound like she's reading it. Like, interesting newspaper. Yes, is your answer. I will be staying with the Olympians.
Very well, Doctor. Do not say that I wasn't a giving man. At this point, the building begins to shake.
Oh no!
I need both of you to make dex checks, and then we're gonna cut back somewhere.
Dex checks. No, not nervous. Dex check. Oh no!
Okay, so as you had gone directly towards the door to pick up the paper, as the rocking of the building hits, you pitch forward and land against the door, and right through the wood, as if mere inches away from your ear, you hear Dietrich say, "What a terrible mistake." And let's cut back to the New York Public Library, where we currently have 2 Olympians, one Cato Callahan and one Sabella Ives. We have a Nazi, another Joseph Dietrich, who is currently covered in some type of swirling, helixing purple lightning. And between both groups, we have the burning Italian, Phil Castillo, as he is standing facing Dietrich, perhaps daring him to come through him. Olympians, what would you like to do?
Katie, they're going to make such a mess in the library.
Oh, it's already burning where Castillo came through.
Okay.
So Phil is between as in I can't get off a clean shot.
Hey, Mike. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you guys are in between one another. So Dietrich is sort of elevated a bit. Now that you take a look at him, he seems to be above the tile and hardwood of the New York Public Library. Floating would probably be the best term for it.
Sure. Sure. And he very clearly sees where we are.
Oh, yeah, he can see you guys. You guys are kind of in the canyon between the big high stacks. Phil had just come out of some of the stacks to the right. Those stacks are catching and burning as you speak. You can see the orange glow from farther back towards the rear exit. as Phil has gone through. He is Fahrenheit 451 this entire place, as Phil is the temperature at which books burn.
Oh, we really need to work on a radius control. Radius.
Have I got can I see a clean way out from where we're standing? Can I do a quick peek around?
Yeah, I mean, assuming that there's nobody but Dietrich in this place, you have several options to you. You have behind you, which would take you kind of lengthwise down the building. You have back the way you came towards the rear exit. Now, you do know that you saw those ant people before, those kind of flesh-covered, seems to have been some type of insect bursting out of a flesh mask or covering. But you don't see any more of those. You see 2 burning husks that Phil is apparently taking care of. You could conceivably flank around Dietrich to get to the front of the library as well. Once again, the only enemy you see is Dietrich, which gives you at least 3 opposite or flanking exit points, either side or behind you.
Right now, Sabella's just kind of, there's a lot going on in the general vicinity, so she's just a little distracted. But she turns and looks at Kate. Going or staying? You're muted. I know it's a library, but I think we can afford to be a little loud now.
Shh.
Yeah, shush you.
All right. Well, I just can't resist taking at least one shot at this boy.
Okay.
Why don't you, is there some cover nearby? Can you find some cover nearby?
There are a ton of tables and chairs and the opposite
that
stacks.
Got blasted with fun lightning last time. Yeah. I will just back around the stack so I still want to be able to see what's going on, but just getting a little bit of something between me and the elemental chaos raining down.
Okay, well, let's do this then. Why don't you do a spot hidden to see if you can, and I'll give you, obviously you can see everything that's around, but in this way, it's more of a tactical spot hidden. You're looking to see if maybe you can figure out the best angle to get on him while keeping your widest field of vision.
Okay. Do. Ha! No.
Oh.
Hi.
You're pretty sure that this table right here, perfect. You got it. You nailed it. It's right in front of you. It's right there. You can do it.
Well, good, because I wanted to stay close to Kate anyway. So, win for me.
Fine. So I'm going to take a step in that same direction so that I can get a better angle on Dietrich. One last question for you, Greg. I've still got in my left hand that really neat little lightning void gun thing. I'm curious. I'm super curious about that.
Sure. What it looks like to everybody is it is an ebony kind of twisted stick. If you brought it somewhere, someone would say, who brought the wizard wand? That's what it looks like. It doesn't seem to have any type of inherent energy about it. It is simply a curved, glossy in places stick. But you've seen it do much, much more.
Yeah. You gonna let me investigate it a little bit before I take some shots here, or?
Oh no, I'm not.
But he's so distracted.
He's very distracted.
Like
if you want to give them a round and not do anything, I tell you what, I will let you do a spot hidden on that, but it's going to require like at least a hard to get something, an extreme to get something more.
Okay, I'll just hold on to it then and take a step to the side on the same direction that Sabella is, and I'm going to take a shot or two. What do you give me? Am I close enough for 3?
You're not close enough for 3. I will give you 2 from the serpent gun. Uh-oh. Hold on a sec. While you are deciding on that course of action, I will see what Mike has done to all of you. Mike, brother, thank you very much. Mike is... the Let's see. Also, a boon for Sabella, since everyone wants me to be nice. Okay, so there's the horror is going to intensify, which, as everyone knows, that means that whatever I had planned for this encounter now gets stepped up. D&D terms, another challenge rating. The boon that will be coming towards Sabella, we'll get to that in a second. So, Mike, thank you very much, brother.
Thanks, Mike.
Let's see where this horror takes us.
Thanks.
Okay, so you want to get two
Someone
shots off
shoot
with this?
me.
Yeah, I want to get 2.
Okay, go right ahead.
Oh. Regular success.
Okay, so the first one goes flying past, and you see Dietrich kind of turn as purple lightning jumps between his eyes, those pale blue eyes of his, as he sees you taking a shot, leveling it with the odd serpent gun, which looks like almost a pair of brass knuckles with 2 serpent heads coming out of the front where the knuckles would be. The first one silently kind of fizzes past him, and he watches it smack into one of the marble columns way back in the back. And as he turns around, the second one hits him center mass. But you see it catches, and you see that there's actually a burn mark on his uniform, but you see it spread and disperse down his stomach and up towards the front. It appears to have done some damage to him, but as whether or not it actually hurt him, it certainly doesn't appear it hurt Dietrich.
You know, that was almost as fun as the one of you I killed in Borneo. Let's try that again, shall we?
Okay, so at this point, Dietrich, you see the purple lightning almost roll as he's rolling his eyes at this display of bravado that he is getting. And it's only at this point, Kate, that you realize that Phil is looking back at you and kind of almost waiting to see what the two of you are going to do. And through the burning that is covering his entire body, you see him smile, and you can see the burning coming out from around his teeth, as you have chosen, at least in the mind of Phil Castillo, wisely. Phil turns back around and stares at him, starts to make a move and advance towards him, and you see Dietrich look, and the rolling of his eyes continues as he says, the Sicilian. And all you guys hear, as soon as he says Sicilian in a derogatory state, you hear Phil Castillo say, oh, fuck this fucking guy. And you see flames just blast out of Castillo's hands as they helix up towards the 10, 20 foot in the distance Dietrich, as he's floating about 5 feet above the ground. About 3 feet in front of Dietrich, you see the flames blister apart as if they've hit some type of invisible barrier, and you hear Dietrich begin to laugh. Let's cut back to 116th Street. The building rocks, and Greta, you smash against the front and slide down the front door as you guys are in what appears to be a collapsing structure.
Yeah, just like fall through the door in the hallway. And I'm like, oh, hey.
Is she out in the doorway? Is the doorway wide open?
No. For Greta's point of reference, it was as if she slammed against the door, and right on the other side, Dietrich whispered to her at the end of the last scene, almost like he knew she was there. But other than that, you guys are all still in Syl Jefferson's apartment.
Can Dwight grab her up and like pull him behind her?
Pull Greta?
Yeah, like, you know, since I have haste 2 actions, he wants to kind of like get her behind him, and he's just going to open fire at the door, all the way down the doorway.
Okay, so you're just.
Yeah, we're going to back
gun?
up. We're going to get the hell out the back way. That's our escape route, is the fire escape.
Okay, you guys are going to hit the fire escape. Okay, what would you like to do with the numerous NPCs, 2 of which are unconscious?
Well, I was hoping that Sawyer would be able to take these NPCs out the back way. You know, that's the only escape plan. What are they, huddled in the corner?
I will do this.
Response, but to laugh. I just.
I will do this.
Yes.
So bad.
I
The
am
theory
not
of relativity is about to go out the window, buddy. We're not going to have that in America. We're not going to have that in the
What's
world
a
here soon.
Right. Yeah, somewhere about 10, 12 years from now, Oppenheimer goes, well, I'm stumped.
Yeah, right. I mean, E equals MC squared is a thing of the past.
Right. So, okay. So, Elijah will do this. Elijah will take Einstein.
You
And
won't take
will
Jack. Right.
He will not carry Jack. So if
Well,
you
I
are
mean-
if you're picking her up and dragging Greta back and you're spraying into the door, I want you to roll
I'm not just spraying into the door. I'm spraying down the door and down the hall as well with whatever would be with him.
Okay, yeah, so you're just taking the whole fucking wall
Yes,
out. Like
if he's got troops behind, whatever I can take out, I'm taking out, and I want to get her behind me, and we're gonna make a mad dash for the door.
Okay, roll your first attack with the grease gun, the result of which will tell me how many bullets you actually get off in this action.
I'm not gonna crit this.
That's still 9 bullets. So what I'm going to
Yes.
do is, what's your grease gun? It does 1d10 per bullet?
Yep, +2. Oh, that's okay. That's how many shots I get with it.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so as you open up, several pieces of the plaster between the inside of Syl Jefferson's apartment and the outside hallway cease to exist. You
Yep.
see like kind of like the almost the shiplap type of
Dwight goes, "Fuck you, German," and shoots right through the fucking door.
Okay, you do, because of the extreme amount of damage you've done with this grease gun, as the shots are ringing off, the front door gets blasted apart, and for a moment you see Dietrich there, but it's only a second as one of the slugs takes him in the jaw and spins him off to the side, as he was completely unprepared for the savage nature of that attack. As everything else goes to the side, you do notice through the large, massive pieces of plaster that break off, partially because of the machine gun exposure and partially because of the instability of the building as it is crashing, you see that as it slides down, you see that there are several other figures in the hallway, but you don't hear any screams of pain. You don't hear anything else that would give you an idea of the number of people that you have currently out in the hallway. But as everything happens sort of all at once, you're able to get Greta back to the action. Your first action was to grab Greta, make it all the way back to the fire escape. Your second action was to spray everything. It is now their turn. As the door explodes and you see Dietrich spin off to the side, you see 2 black-suited men come in. But as they come in and they turn to look, you see that they have taken several of the rounds that you fired off. But beneath the chest of one of them, as the tie that they had on is kind of split off to the side, you see a very waxy, almost obsidian type of surface. And up top, you see that one of their sides of their faces have been blown apart, but you see a large mandible at the bottom protruding through and a swiveling insectoid eye. I'd like you both to make sanity checks for me, please.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'll crit that.
Okay.
That's the first time I failed. And I can't use luck on sanity, can I?
You cannot.
That's the first time I failed the sanity check.
And you lose 3.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Join us in the under 90. Join us.
Hard success. I am not phased.
Okay, so as you guys are sitting there and you are not phased, the next movement might get
Do
you.
I get any turns or anything to do?
You do. You
Okay.
you had a fumble as you hit that dex against the wall. So
Yeah.
basically, that was your recovery,
Okay.
kind of a prone from that position. As 2 globules come out of the mouths or between the mandibles, this large purple and green hiss, almost like a snake's tongue or a spray of fluid comes out. One of them strikes Dwight in the chest, doing 5 damage. As it hits, it begins to burn into the sniper's chest. Now let's cut back to 116th Street, or from 116th Street to the New York Public Library, as we are again with Sabella and Kate. Kate and Sabella, you are both witness to this battle that is going on between Jesus. Ice cubes. Okay, so as you guys are standing there, you see Castillo as he's firing these columns of fire, but they are beginning to just spread away. And Dietrich is very, very arrogant as he begins to laugh. Oh, the Sicilian. So proud of your heritage, of your birthright.
Phil, I think it's time to go.
Yeah, it might be time to go. Let's go.
But if Mr. Dietrich just wants to look this way real quick, I wouldn't mind throwing my hat in the ring. I don't know if he looks as I yell at my friend over there.
Yeah, Dietrich has one action here at the top of the round after everybody has had their go around.
Oh, good.
And as Dietrich is continuing his condemnation of Phil, he looks at him and he says, "You didn't bother to learn anything else, did you? You just relied on your antiques, your heritage. Well, I am always learning. Funny that we are in a library. And this I just learned from an old friend." And you see Dietrich take one of his hands as he spins it, and a lighter appears. And as he strikes it, a flame of green exposes out of the top. And he holds it behind the symbol, and you see him look directly at Phil, and he goes, "Whew." And Sabella, you see the fire stop as Phil kind of teeters a bit as he looks, and then you see from the fire around his mouth, you see him belch up a absolute jet of water as it turns the steam around his mouth, as you hear him choking, and you see the splashing of this immediately boiling and steamed water along the outside of him, as it appears that some type of salt water is now somehow inside the body of Phil Castillo. And as he turns, the fire starts to quit along his face as segments of it go out, and you can see his skin, and his eyes are wild as he's trying to claw for his chest, and he can't seem to do anything about it, but the fire is coming on and off and on and off. And Dietrich just continues to laugh.
We have to help him.
Got it. Yes.
Okay, so he made like a symbol in front of him. Is it still there or is it gone?
It is not visible. You saw it as he was drawing it.
Uh-huh.
And then he produced some type of green flame lighter,
Yes.
and blew it out, and it seems to have had some type of effect on Phil.
Does it look like, okay, so I don't know if this is in Cthulhu. Does it look like he is still focused on it? Does he look like he is busy with that?
I will allow you to use your entire action to roll like an occult.
Okay. Let's just crit it.
Okay, you want to crit the occult?
Yeah, I want to know what's happening.
It looks to you as if whatever it is, the spell that has been put in place, and because you used a crit here, you get as much information as Sabella would have available to her.
Uh-huh.
And Sabella Ives, as has been said in the narrative, is not just a bookstore owner. She has a grandfather that was very much into the occult. She's been around it her entire life. She's been born with it. It's not something that you know or you think that you've ever read about, but it may have been something that was told to you by your grandfather. And all you can remember is breath of the deep. And you believe it is some type of ritual, some type of spell that has been cast on Phil, and it will kill him. Now, concentration-wise, if you can somehow end Dietrich, the spell will end. But not unlike D&D, this isn't necessarily something that you can pain him out of. You can't hurt him enough where he will lose concentration, but he could redirect his energies if he needs to.
Okay. Great. Great. Yeah, great. I try to get this across to Kate as fast as possible and start moving toward Phil.
Okay, so you're moving after you figure out what's going on. You're moving towards
Yeah,
Phil.
it's more of an impulse thing. Someone is drowning in front of me, and I want to help them. So it's just
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've identified the problem. You're moving towards him. Kate, what are you doing?
Well, as I see Sabella moving, I'm moving with her, and I'm still keeping my weapon trained on Dietrich. Mr. Dietrich, thinking about Borneo reminds me, right before I killed that other one of you, the one that was never able to get Ruby Foster in Borneo, he gave me something. What was it? Oh, that's right. It was a little box or something. And he said it was real important. I don't know what was in it. I haven't really looked because he said you should have it though, and in fact that if I gave it to you, you'd do something for me. In fact, he said you'd do just about anything for me. Is that ringing any bells? Or I mean, it's been a long time. It's been like 4 months. Am I just making that up, or I don't know?
It's a wonderful story, Miss O'Callahan. But do you have this box?
Well, I don't have it with me right now. Of course, it's not like I'm carrying it around everywhere. It seemed like it's kind of important, and well, things kind of tend to blow up when I'm around. But I know where it is.
Well, this is the place for stories. Don't worry. If it is elsewhere with the other Olympians, I'm getting it right now.
The more I get to know you, just the less I like you.
He has that effect on people.
It's a common set of circumstances for me.
You should probably work on that.
I can keep myself company.
I'm sure you can, Mr. Dietrich. I'm sure you can.
I am very gentle.
He's saying in the accent, I take it seriously. Shut up.
Feel the power.
Okay, so is that a round for us, Greg?
I have an action.
She has
here.
she has an action.
Okay.
I'm giving a little leeway. This isn't as strict as D&D.
Okay.
I get a couple beats in here to do stuff.
I want to take a look around. A look around him and us. Two things I'm after here specifically. One, I want to know if we're being flanked from any side by increasing horror, and I'm kind of curious to know if there are any. I don't know if there's any big bookshelves, or maybe above him there's something hanging from the ceiling, or
Like just chandelier.
that sort of thing.
I tell you what, because this is all about the dice telling a story. How about you roll a luck roll for me as far as the environment? Does the environment help out Kate in this particular set of circumstances?
I'll crit it.
My God, look at the size of that fucking chandelier directly over Dietrich's head. It's beautiful. It was probably, my God, I mean, it could have been tempered or given light to Washington and Franklin whenever they were conspiratorially talking about the revolution. It's beautiful. It's something that has probably never been duplicated in America's early history. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. I marvel at the beauty of it for just a moment.
Okay.
And then aim up as close to where it connects with the ceiling as I can. How far away is Phil from him before I take this shot?
Phil's still a good 10 to 15 feet away from him. You mentioned something about wanting to do a spot hidden.
Yeah, I did.
Now, if you want to fire, go right ahead. If you want a spot hidden, that's your action. So pick one of those two that you want to do.
Oh. Take the shot.
Okay. So since you are calling this shot, it is a heavy gauge wire that seems to have been tempered and braided up towards the ceiling. It's a shot that Kate can make, but it is going to require a hard or better shot for you to get. Now, you can take 2 shots at it, but that it's going to require a hard or better shot.
All right, let me take the first. Can I take the first shot and then decide what to do?
Yeah, you've got 2 of them.
Yeah.
I'll be nice about it. It would be 33 luck if you like to.
Just that.
I'm here to I'm telling the rules. I'm here to help.
Let me. God, I hate to blow the crits. Let me.
You only live once. Really?
Yeah.
Kind of. Depends who you are.
Oh, by the way, I had this in my back pocket, but since you were the first one to take a shot at Dietrich, 2 crits come your way, courtesy of Don, who put into his monthly subscription the following. Whoever attacks Dietrich first gets 2 crits. So I thought I'd give this to you now.
My fellow Olympians.
Come on, let's go.
All right, yeah, I'll crit that. I'll crit that shot at the chandelier then too. Kabam!
Okay, so as the shot goes off, the massive chandelier shivers and drops, and you see Dietrich look up as this massive structure falls on him, and where he was a second before, floating 5 feet above the ground, he is no longer, as the crash and twist of metal and glass sprays and breaks across the area through the smoke and haze of the burning library, and he is taken from view.
Is there any effect on Phil? God, I'm calling him by his first name now too, damn it.
Sorry.
Phil is still on the ground, gasping.
Shit. Okay.
And Kate, you hear directly from behind you, "Oh, we've put much more effort and assets into this mission than before, Miss O'Callahan." And that's how you jump up the horror. I got a whole new Dietrich.
That is rude.
God damn it. Like how far behind me?
Oh, maybe like 10 feet?
Gross.
I hate this guy so
I
much.
hate him so much.
He loves you guys.
Ew.
Almost
Okay.
as much as he loves himself.
I don't think
lie.
anything could reach those heights, Greg.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I spin around.
Yep, it's him. And we cut back to 116th Street. As we go back to 116th Street in Harlem, as the building of Still Jefferson, formerly the Fosters, begins to crack and split, and 2 ant people, for lack of a better definer, have burst into the room. We will start this time with Greta. Greta,
Yeah.
what would you like to do, as this is your first action?
Those ant people are the first things that I've seen so far that have been like actually mildly disturbing. Like, how did they even put those things together? I've tried and it didn't work. So, like, wow, whoa. But she is going to yell in rapid fire German back to Dietrich. Ich arbeite nach Vorgehen answegen. Ich habe nicht Gabriel gehört, ich werde dem Ort gehen. And I'll send you what the translation is. It's also probably poorly translated because I'm really stressed out. But
And I'm sure chat's going to be like, wait, what'd she say? Because we got a couple German speakers in there right now.
I'm so nervous. Poorly translated. Yeah, but
you guys hear German come spluing back in, but this time it's from one of the ant people. And it, as the icks and the binds come through, they are very tinny. As they come through this mandible, these squeaky, almost as if it is disgusted with the speech it has to utter. Not German, not English. The speech and the ways of communication of humans. And as you shout that out, I'll give you the free shout.
Thanks.
Yeah. Ozzy's like, I didn't understand what she said. Okay, so what would you like to do as an action here, Greta?
Leave. No. Let's see. So Elijah's got Einstein out,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got an unconscious person and a Sill. I guess Greta will try to get Jack out.
Okay, Sil can assist in this, so it
Okay.
would give you
She and I are
advantage.
just dragging him everywhere. Okay.
Right, so it'll give you, you can take a strength check with advantage to get Jack to the fire escape.
Oh, it's a really good thing I had advantage. So.
Okay, it takes you guys a little bit, but you're able to kind of like double fireman's carry, get underneath Jack and his feet. He's complete dead weight as you're pulling him, and his toes are just dragging along the wood floor as again another rock takes place. But at this time, what are you doing, Dwight, as all of this is occurring simultaneously?
Okay, what is in front of me? Do they look effed up? Do I look like I can take them out? And
Well, you've never seen ant people before. But
he's
if
got
you
a
had
face blown off.
If you were a betting man, you'd say that these two big ants don't look as if the fleshy parts that seem to have been their costume, that looks fucked up. But like the ants, they're very glossy. So I mean, that's about all you can get.
Do I think? All right. So what he's going to do. Where's Dietrich? Is he down still? Like a quick scan of the room. Anything in front of the way?
Dietrich is not in the room. Dietrich was shot, spun away, and disappeared in the hallway.
Okay,
These two creatures appeared.
Dwight would probably open fire on both of them and then back, since I have two actions, back in the room and lock the door, since there is a lock on the door, to get out. You know what I mean? Just to keep them back. Whatever he has to do to spray and pray and then back out of there.
Okay, so you're backing towards the Jack room, the bedroom?
Yep.
Okay,
and then once
firing.
he gets to the door, he sprays, slams the door shut, locks it, and is directing everybody out the window.
Okay, as the Blitzschnell is coursing through your system, you're able to do all this. Take a shot for me, and the result of the roll will tell me how many bullets get to be fired off here. Damn. Okay, so you got 6
I'm rolling
that
well
time.
tonight.
As again, you blast into the area, and as you're able to spray, you see that both of them take a number of the shots, but the thorax and the armor, as you blast away clothing and skin off these things, while several kind of outer pieces of this shell crack a bit, you don't see any purchase that seems to pierce into the actual body. You've done damage to them. But not, I mean, if these had been men, you would have just cut through them. But they took
Well,
an
my
awful lot
goal
of
is just to knock them off task so I can get the door closed, get to the window.
Yeah, you've definitely done that. You've definitely delayed them. They've kind of rocked back a bit. And as you close the door, you close the door, and that's when a secondary hits the building. At this point, Greta, Sil, and Jack are going out onto the the fire escape, and then you are kind of just got into the room, but everybody roll a dex check.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody kind of holds on for a second. Lindy, now that you're outside, Greta can see the following. Pieces of brick are breaking away, and you hear screams as the entire street has been stopped. Well, traffic has stopped itself when they see that these large chunks of brick and masonry and even pieces of the fire escape on the opposite side of the building have broken loose and are falling down.
Scheisse.
Yeah. And with that, we'll cut back to the library as we now have Kate and Sabella and Phil Castillo, who is still on the ground, his eyes now looking directly at Sabella as he is pleading, and the fire is almost completely out. Not that this has, but if there was ever the question, which somebody asked me online, yes, Phil is naked because he doesn't have fireproof suits. But the fire is still licking up him as he is standing there, and his hands are on the ground, and he looks up, and as the fire kind of crawls over part of his face, you see him vomit up some of this water again, some of it still turning into steam, but more and more of it is liquid as it just sprays out on the hardwood beneath him, and his eyes are pleading with you.
Okay. It's gonna be all right. And I start taking off toward where the chandelier hit the other Dietrich.
Okay, that's your movement. I will allow you to get there. What would you like to do when you get there?
Is he there?
I'll give you a free spot hidden.
Fuck this. No. I crit it. Fuck it. Nope. Where is
Yeah, he's under there and he's alive. He appears to be pinned. The main piece of the chandelier is through his stomach.
Good.
He's
Good.
nailed to the fucking floor, and he's sitting there kind
Great.
of half pulling at it. The energy's still kind of licking around him, but you still see it firing between his eyes.
Oh, hi,
Firing
Mr.
between his eyes.
Dietrich. This is about my favorite time I've ever seen you. And can I please try to redirect his energy
How would you like to do that?
by looking him deep in his weird purple eyes and causing him to have to deal with something else rather than that?
Okay, so I would like you to roll, as we always do. But Mr. Dietrich, because he has a chandelier through his stomach, will be making this at disadvantage. So...
Oh, God.
I'm assuming, go ahead and roll just in case you get 100. So,
Okay.
What was that about the dice telling the story?
I'll use a
Oh,
point of
fuck.
luck. I'll use
Yeah.
a point of luck.
what were you saying, Allison?
I mean, I was gonna quit it, but I felt, bullied into rolling it. So I'll use a point of luck.
Bullied.
He's like that. Greg is
He
like
does
that.
that.
He's so like
Bullied.
that.
How dare you, all of you? You're just darers.
We're just casting.
I don't dare you to do anything, Greg, because I know what you're capable of.
Thank
Those
you.
are that's our nicknames.
I used a point of luck.
Okay, so as you are finally able to fight through the remaining wards that he has in place, and that's how we'll narratively call the disadvantage, you stop for a second as if you slam into the same type of force field, that invisible force that kept Phil's flames out. It keeps out the gaze and the power of Sabella Ives, but because he is in a hurt way and you are very determined, you are able to pierce through, and as you enter into his mind, you see that there is a chaos afoot here. It's something that you have not experienced with any of the Dietrichs if you had had the opportunity to delve into whether they be alive or dead, as we did in Bolivia with the arm, and as you did on the Akron, as you were able to actually engage. The best thing that your mind doesn't know how to explain this to you. It doesn't know how to extrapolate the details of what you're seeing. And instead it gives you an image from your past, from your youth. And you remember when you saw a puppet show, and after the puppet show, you were able to go behind and see how the puppeteer had the marionettes with all of the strings connected to all of the various points. And when it would rise and fall, the arms would rise, and all of the threads had some type of effect on the puppet. And it's as if you are looking at this on almost a galaxy scale, as you see these threads of energy that seem to all be going somewhere into the west, or somewhere into the east, excuse me. As they disappear in that direction, that physical, geographical direction, you know it's to the east. And you notice that as these lines are coming off of the pinned Dietrich, there are a similar set of lines coming off of the Dietrich that is facing Kate. And you see in the distance another set of lines. In the distance, another set of lines. And very, very close, you see another set of lines that seem to be maybe 100 yards from your position. This Dietrich is dying.
Good. Can I cut a string?
Yeah. You certainly can try. You are in this astral space with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to do it?
Like, I feel like it's reaching out. Like, you know, like the fates with their shears and their strings. I feel like it's reaching out and just pulling. And it probably should be harder to do that to someone, but it's not right now.
Okay. So you pull one of these almost as if you can feel it. And it feels like a maybe a thicker gauge piano wire. And you pull it over. How do you, in this state, what does Sabella Ives do to sever it? Is it just she grabs it and twists it? Does she utilize something? Does she bite it? How does she?
Go with me on this. She sets it on fire.
She sets it on fire.
She's thinking of saving Phil.
Okay, well, go with me on this, then.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as the omniscient people in chat are able to see all of this, and there really is no witness to what's going on here between Sabella Ives and this Joseph Dietrich. If we were to see it, we would see the following. Sabella Ives, as she walks towards this pinned Dietrich in this astral space, her body begins to light as various portions of her legs, arms, across her chest erupt into flames. Her hair, while it does not burn, it lifts and becomes part of the twirl of the flame, almost a mirror image of Phil Castillo. And as you walk towards, you pull the string over, and in that space, the Dietrich looks up, energy gone. The humanity very much returned to his face as he says, "No, don't do this. Listen, Sabella, you are one of us. You are not one of them. Do not." And what do you do?
Oops.
Let's cut to 116th Street as everyone is, the rock hits as the building begins to give away. And I'd like you both, Greta and Dwight, to roll listen checks with advantage.
Oh, that's my specialty.
Oh.
Okay, so as we did have advantage on this,
I'll roll again just by this for some. Yeah, all right, better.
You're fine. As the building is collapsing and there is chaos and there's the banging on the door as something is trying to get through into the bedroom of Syl Jefferson. Dwight, you hear it from the beginning, and Greta, you hear it as you're kind of halfway outside. You turn back as you hear the sound that can only be described as a wail absolute, something that seems to be the very rending or sundering of a soul, as it's impossible to tell whether this is animal, man, but after a moment with the pitch, something catches for the ear of Dwight Burke as he realizes this is Dietrich screaming. He is wailing. And let's cut back to the library as Kate, you are standing, and as soon as you don't witness any of this, as Sabella moves, the Dietrich that's in front of you, very self-assured, very confident in his abilities, begins to scream. His eyes bug out of his head as the veins pop in his neck as he just screams, drops to the ground, and is on his side as he is rocking back and forth in a fetal position. He vomits. He's just sitting there. He has no control over his body as you see muscles twitch and fire even up into his skull as you see his hair move as everything seems to be seizing on him at once. Kate, I need to know what you want to do here.
Now, let me think about this for a second, because I think I would. What about 3 fucking headshots?
It is. I'm not making you roll. You just walk up and pew pew pew, and now I would like you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, Miss O'Callahan.
God.
I mean, what might happen if I failed this Constitution saving roll? How bad?
Yeah, foreshadow, Greg. Come on.
You're really good at that. You're so good at that.
You're so good at that.
Could you do some of that thing you do really good?
It'll be interesting. Ooh.
I'll crit it.
Yay.
Okay, so as you are able to crit through this, what you see is as you walk up and fire the serpent gun, 3 shots, boom, 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 into the head of this Joseph Dietrich, the serpent gun grows and the heads launch off of the knuckles, latch into the neck of Joseph Dietrich and begin to feed. And as this energy is pumping up through the serpents, the tails have dug into your forearm. And as you're looking down, you see twin flecks of blood as they are dropping through the holes that they have bore into you. You see the veins in your arm begin to go black and purple for a moment. And then with a force of will, the America's Flying Sweetheart is able to force back the serpent, and it again returns to its normal form.
How? All right. Let's get out of here. I'm done
Also,
with this.
Kate, roll a 1d4 for me, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
sorry, I rolled it twice, but
you regain 2 sanity.
it's just my lucky day.
It's turning into a good day.
It's a good day.
It clears your mind. And Kate, as you turn and are kind of ready to re-engage the burning building and everything, as you had this odd standoff with this second Dietrich, you do hear another scream coming from deeper in towards the front of the building. You turn around and you see Phil Castillo, who is naked, and he's on his all fours as he's sitting there coughing, and you see him blow blood and water out of his mouth, but he stops and he goes, "Fuck." And it's the first time you've heard him say something since this began. But Phil Castillo really doesn't play a prominent role in your vision here, because as you turn back towards the site of the crashed chandelier, you see Sabella Ives floating a good 5 to 7 feet off the ground as she is turning and appears to be on fire. Let's cut back to 116th Street, as I would like everybody in the building to tell me what they're going to do, starting with Greta. There's pounding on the outside of the door as you can only assume to be the ant people are making their way inside.
Well, those ant people were the first things that's freaked Greta out this whole campaign. So she's not going to answer the door. She's going to hustle and get Jack out. Hustle,
Okay,
hustle.
so I want you to roll in. As Syl's going to help you, we're going to say that Elijah has already taken Einstein all the way down the 3 floors to ground level. He made it out first. We're not going to have, obviously, Strider roll in since he's absent, but we will have you roll as you're going to do a advantage strength check for me, please.
Success!
Roll again.
That's an advantage. That's it. Roll twice.
It's an advantage.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so you're able to get down to what would be the 2nd floor. Okay, you're on the 2nd floor. Dwight, you're still on the 3rd floor. What would you like to do? You have 2 actions for me.
Well, Dwight's he's gonna jet out the door. I mean, he hears a scream and he's gonna go for the fire escape. You know, is the door still holding in place?
It is definitely rocking on its hinges. It's an interior door, so it's not nearly as sturdy as what would be the hall door or an exterior door of the building. It's moments before they burst through.
Well, I mean, he goes for the window and he's got another action. He'll try to pick up and help Greta with Jack down the fire escape.
Okay, what I will allow you to do is this. you can, if you want to get down to them and aid to maybe increase that, I will allow you to do what kind of skill? You've got a climb skill, don't you?
I do.
Okay, I will allow you to roll a climb roll, and you will essentially jump off the fire escape on the 3rd floor, grab the railing, and swing down to the 2nd floor and meet them where they are.
I'll credit.
And okay. So as you run down, you jump, grab hold of the railing, swing yourself down as only a young Clint Eastwood can. And as you land on the 2nd floor, you are able to help them as they continue down between the 2nd and the 1st floor, roughly 15 to 20 feet in the air at this point, when another bang hits. I need dex saves from both of you, please.
Okay. God fucking damn it.
Okay, so
I'll use
With
advantage.
too late.
Oh, that's
Oh, you didn't call it beforehand.
I was like, that would have been smart to have one of those.
This isn't Vegas where you can play blackjack and say, "Oh, I'll take that insurance now." No, fuck that. That doesn't work that way. Okay, so as you guys
that jump,
are
it shook the building a little bit more.
right, as you guys are getting down and you're just leaving that 2nd story fire escape, a massive rock hits as you are both tossed over the side of the railing as you run into each other. Syl is able to stay on the fire escape, but the 3 of you go tumbling off as it is Greta, Dwight, and Jack.
And Jack. I'm just
So-
laughing because all of this is so awful.
Weekend at Bernie's. It's Weekend at Jack's, you know? Poor fucking Jack. He doesn't know what's going on, right?
Hey, I know that reference.
Well, I'll try to get more obscure.
Several.
Okay, so let's cut back to the library as Kate, you see a floating Sabella Ives, and you see that even though there's still some coughing and some sputtering coming from Phil Castillo, he sees her too. And for a moment, you see in his baby blues the reflected vision of Sabella on fire floating on the ground, and you see him look up and roll a spot hidden for me. Or a psychology, whichever you would like.
Success.
For a moment, you see the bravado and the machismo of Phil Castillo break and fade away. And the only thing that you can see is perhaps something that Kate herself has struggled with, especially with the Olympians early on. It's something that speaks of a feeling of kinship, of acceptance, as he watches the burning figure of Sabella.
How far off the ground did you say she is floating?
Between 5 and 7 feet.
So if it's 5 feet, it's close enough for me to grab her, and if it's 7, it's not.
Well, I'll give you this. If she's close enough that you could go off a table and get her if you had to. You know, you could get it, pull a chair out. You could jump on top of one of the heavy oak tables and grab her. She is on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kate runs over to where she is, and I pull off the serpent gun as I'm running and put it back in my satchel. And
roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, there it is.
God damn it.
Yeah, you go and pull it off and you put it in your bag, and you're running, and as you're running, you look and it's in your right hand. You could have sworn you pulled it off and put it in your bag, but there's the serpent gun, and it feels, you never could feel it before, but you can now. It feels hungry, very hungry.
Am I able to use my right hand?
Yeah, Yeah, you can. It's a bracer against your palm, so you can still utilize your fingers around it. It's not gonna. I mean, if you do certain things, it might impede it, but you can still full movement of all the fingers.
Okay, so I'm pulling off my leather flight jacket as I run up, doing whatever I need to do to get up to where Sabella is, and I'm gonna wrap it around her and just try to pull her down.
Okay. So you jump up and basically smother her as if she's on fire and you're trying to put her out and you're trying to protect yourself with all of this, correct?
I'm trying to get her so I can get her out. Protecting myself is maybe less of a priority here.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Okay, roll a dex check for me as you kind of launch yourself up and grab hold of her.
Extreme success.
Wow. Okay. So you're able to wrap your flight coat around her. And as you wrap it around her, you realize you're still in the air. She is not dropping. Sabella, I would like you to roll 2 power checks for me, please.
Okay. A hard and a regular.
Okay. So,
Heck.
Sabella, you know no more. I'd also like you to roll 2d6 and take that away from your special bank of things for me, please.
Oh!
Fuck. Okay. Fuck.
I mean, if you insist, Greg.
Stop. I'm just going to drink. Let me just drink for a second.
Okay, if you want. Like, you don't have to, but like, you can.
But if you have to, though,
Yeah.
maybe you
I
have. Maybe
to.
you do have to.
I do have to. I'm going to take another drink just because I'm saying no.
I'll just keep smiling at you. Go ahead.
If you smile,
your
I'm going to take
time.
another drink. No, I'm joking. So what this means is, Kate, as you jump and expertly wrap Sabella in the jacket, you hang in the air for a beat and you realize she's not dropping. She's not going to the ground. And then all of a sudden, the flames on the exterior of her cease. Her hair drops back down and she collapses wearing only your flight jacket, as very similar to what happened to Phil Castillo has happened to her. She appears unharmed. There are no burn marks on her hair, eyelashes, nothing like that. But anything that was not of Sabella Ives, her outfit, shoes, have ceased to exist. What did you have? What did you have on you, Sabella?
I mean, I had gone out. I was out drinking, so I'm
Right.
not sure.
I'm not asking. It's not like a leading question. I wanted to know, make sure if there was something you had on you that wouldn't have been consumed by the fire. I want to make sure we note it now. Did you have the watch on you, the Alice in Wonderland pocket watch?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Kate, you would notice as you crash to the ground, there's a clink of a chain as the watch lands. It seems warm but unharmed.
I'll scoop that up. And is Sabella, are you awake? Hello? She's not conscious. Okay. Castillo, are you okay? Can you move?
He stands up. Fuck. Yeah. And he comes over and pads over on, bare feet. How the fuck did she do that?
I don't know. Back door. Lead the way. Let's go. And I'm scooping her up. I'll use a crit to carry her out.
I can help.
Fucking back door, Phil. Let's go. Oh, sorry. I
What?
blew my accent there.
Fuck, okay. And he pads off, his perfectly chiseled ass leading the way.
Do I look like I need help? Let's go.
So, as he's running back, he leads you back outside. At this point, as you guys retrace your steps through the rear exit of the library, you can tell now that there are sirens, as one of the biggest public landmarks period of the city, county, and state of New York is in a bad fucking way, as there has been not one but 2 fiery people inside its confines. And at least in this section of the humanities department, someone better invent a copy machine pretty quick, because this shit's going up. And as you guys are led out into the back, you explode into the alleyway behind the service entrance, and you see a car sitting there with 2 doors open, but nobody in it.
As we're moving back out toward, if we pass where one of those ant things was, I'd tell Phil to grab that and just drag it out by the door. I want to leave that out. I want to leave that somewhere where somebody can find that thing. Has it got some like Nazi insignia on it or something?
You want me to drag out a fucking ant?
Yeah. Did that whole water thing hurt your ears? Because I think maybe you're not hearing me
All
real
right.
well.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. He reaches down, and on the way out, he grabs one of the ones that he burned pretty bad. The other 2 don't seem to be in the vicinity, the ones that you guys hit, because one of them splattered on the ceiling, which is no bueno at this point. But he grabs one of the ones that he hit and just begins to drag it by its foot. And he drags it out and throws it out by the car. It appears to be wearing the remnants of a black suit, the remnants of flesh, and a whole lot of human-sized ant.
Insignia? Any insignia on it that I saw?
There are no like swastika pins or anything that you saw on some of the other Nazi, humanoid-looking Nazi soldiers.
Fine. All right. Let's get in that car. There's just a car sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
Like there is? Okay. All right. So I'm going to gently lay Sabella across front seat, and I tell Phil to get in the back and climb in the driver's side.
There aren't any keys in the car.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because that's often not so much of an issue for me. What do you want? Mechanical, electrical?
Mechanical repair roll, please. That would be
okay. So I get automatic
auto advantage on it.
Advantage on these.
Yay!
Hard success.
Okay. After a second, you easily hotwire this car as Phil's in the back seat, kind of leaning up on the seat a bit, looking at you as you do that. He goes, "Who the fuck are you people?" And we'll cut back to 116th Street as at this point in the air.
America's flying sweetheart, bitch. Let's go.
Fuck yeah, you are. I want a t-shirt. Okay, so as the building rocks and the fire escape is tilted, we have 3 people going over the side. Kids, this is how I'm going to allow you to do this. Greta, you can save yourself or Jack.
Oh, Greta's gonna save herself.
Dwight, you can save yourself and Jack with your second action. However, you have to succeed on if you decide to elect to save both
Dodge
of you.
roll.
You can't dodge. You're in midair. You cannot dodge
a
the
flip.
ground.
Gymnastics. Like a double backflip.
This is not Thundercats. You can.
Fair enough. I will save.
That's
what do I got
from
do?
the 80s, Lauren.
I got to use a crit to save me and Jack.
If you use a crit, I will allow it on one of the rolls. These are 2 separate actions for.
What rolls are they?
I'm going to need you to, depending upon what you want to do, if you have a better action, the straight away would be a strength roll to grab the fire escape yourself, and then a strength roll to kind of grab Jack and hold on to him before he smacks onto the ground. If you crit one of those, I'll have you be able to grab the fire
Dwight
escape.
will save the old man, and he will try to do a strength roll with advantage.
Okay.
To save himself.
So you're critting the Jack save. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
I saved Jack.
So you're holding him and still falling.
No, so what we're going to do here, because he critted him, Greta, you're able to... Greta, you haven't decided what you wanted to do yet.
No, I'm
Greta,
saving myself. That's what Greta decided.
Okay, go ahead. You get to roll a strength roll here.
Strength roll here.
Yeah.
I'm going to use an advantage on it, although we see how well that worked. So,
yep.
Yeah, fine. I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm good.
You succeed twice. One of them is pretty good. So you kind of grab hold and you're able to keep yourself onto the kind of like the lip, the outside ledge of the fire escape as you pull yourself back over the rail just in time to see as both Dwight and Jack break free and flip over the rail. You see Dwight grab hold of Jack and somehow throw him back up toward you. As he comes back up, you kind of hug hold of Jack and you're able to keep him from dropping back down as you see Dwight fall back as he lands flat back on the ground about 15.
It would be an episode if I'm not hurt.
Are we gonna have 3 unconscious people? No.
Or dead.
As you smack on the ground, you land for 9 damage as you kind of shake for a second, but you are, we'll say that Elijah runs over and kind of scoops you up and helps you up. The rest of you guys are on the ground, and the building at 116th Street is coming down.
Move it all the way. Bye, building.
Yep. Okay, so Olympians, you have vacated the areas of mass destruction that you have left in the wake of New York City. The building on 116th Street collapses as you all make it out into the main thoroughfare of 116th Street. The New York Public Library is currently fucking burning.
Yeah, but there's firemen coming.
It's burning, everybody. Hey, good thing it's made out of fucking rock. Oh, no, wait, it's not. It's made out of paper. And it's burning.
Greg, why do you punish us? I don't.
Because you people are responsible for destroying New York City. I don't appreciate that. Okay, so you guys are all out. I'm pretty sure I know, but where would you all, both groups, where are you guys going?
Well, not the bookstore. That would be too obvious. And obviously, there's more Dietrichs waiting for us there or something.
It was destroyed, remember?
Oh, also, Greta doesn't know. Well, no, he told us it wasn't destroyed, but I'm not sure if Greta bought that.
Yeah, did you
Like,
believe-
no, I totally saw that burning to the ground. That's why I got your mail for you.
Dwight asked, "Did you get that wheelchair? Because I need it again."
Always hunting yourself, Dwight.
Dwight just like hail get a cab, get us in something, get something so we can get the F out of this area. Yes.
And then...
I'm driving straight to the bookstore.
And group number 2?
We have no idea that even the bookstore is back together.
Yeah, she told
Yeah,
you.
we listen to Sabella say it's fine, but that,
I've said it several times.
Yeah,
She did.
I saw it burned. So I think,
I'll let Greta make the decision where we go.
yeah,
Because Dwight is effed up again.
She's the driver, after all.
I'm hailing a cab because we don't have a car here. So yeah, she'll hail the cab, and while we're waiting for it, can I first aid Dwight?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a first
Okay.
aid roll.
Just gonna shake my head and be like, "I'm going to need no more medical supplies at this rate. Very soon. You're fine."
Oh, an extreme. That means you get 2 points back, Dwight, as the expert fingers of Dr. Greta von Krauss find all the aches and boo-boos and make at least one of them go away. And as she hails a cab, one of the cabs pulls over, and you see a guy sitting there with a hat similar to mine as he leans over and looks out and he goes, "Hey, did you guys see that fucking building fell over?" And Greta, you say,
Oh, did it really? I must not have noticed.
"Are you German?"
No, I'm
Fuck.
Austrian.
Is that in Germany?
No, it is the country next door.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cousin's from Pennsylvania, so I mean, go ahead and get in.
All right.
You guys end up at the
Do we
Ives
even all
Esoteric.
fit in this cab? There's
Yeah,
Elijah, Greta,
his
Sabella,
his eyes
Einstein.
narrow
Oh,
a
can I
bit.
read
That's like
Einstein?
we saved all the NPCs. Look, we saved everybody. I mean, people were saved.
Oh.
We did it. Mission accomplished.
That's for Einstein, BT dubs, because he was bleeding out pretty fierce. That
Yeah,
baby.
Einstein is unconscious, and he has been hit by a sniper shot, I think we said in the side.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Einstein is stabilized but still unconscious as you guys climb into the back of this
All right.
cab, and the guy is
We
looking
just
as you guys.
put Jack in the trunk. It's fine. They're unconscious. They won't
Weekend
know.
at Jack's. So, yeah.
No.
Jack owes me.
I ask him to just drive past this bookstore because she wants to see if it's open.
Can't wait.
Okay. The guy looks oddly at you, and he says,
I hand him a bunch of money that I got from Soya.
"Oh, hey, absolutely." Well, he hauls ass, like gets there and like no, takes all the back routes. You know, you're driving through an alley at one point, and you see like cats and shit jumping out of the way. He pulls up in front of it, and he goes, "There was an explosion here like the other day."
Not really. So fuzz.
You can see that on the ground, it's scorched black in many places, and there, a pristine Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian bookstore sits. Glass, perfect, cleaned. It's just, there's no like bird shit, nothing. It's
Dwight does his
perfect.
classic line, like,
Yeah,
what the
She
fuck?
pulls off her glasses, cleans them, and then looks at it again. Like, well, at least the bookstore I'm interested in seems to be all right. It's the small things. Yeah. Thank you very much. Dankeschön. Have a good day.
Right.
Dwight's done asking questions on what the fuck goes on around here.
Then we'll break into the bookstore through the back door. It's fine. If it's not locked, because, she's assuming this is where Sabella's going to want to come back to once she finds out that the building has collapsed that we were staying in.
Right, and what we'll say is that you guys all get there right around the same time.
Okay.
So you guys pull up outside,
have to
and
break
then
in.
the cab pulls up, and then you guys pull up.
We have
and
so many unconscious people.
Can we get there after they've broken in? Because I don't want to be responsible for breaking anything at the bookstore.
Can they get there after?
Can we get there after they've already broken in?
We would kick in the door.
No,
offense.
no.
I know
Greta-
you don't want to hear that, Lauren, but it happens.
No,
Greta's going to try to pick the lock. She's
do
going to
something
try
on
to
the back door.
sneaky in.
I mean, it's your funeral, brother.
Sure, yeah. If you want to pick, the lock,
Oh, that's
go right
happened before too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pick the lock.
ahead. Mechanical repair for me, please.
Okay.
Basically, Greta says, she just the door opens. Oh, it must have been open. I mean, it's
Oh, so irresponsible leaving it unlocked.
yeah. So the door Dwight, you just see the door open, just as you're readying your boot. You got your lockpick, and she has hers.
I think this place was literally on fire 2 days ago.
I do not know what happened.
day
but
ago.
It is apparently not on fire anymore. Perhaps she knows some good contractors.
Okay, so we're gonna say you guys got everybody into Ives Esoteric and
Yeah,
Antiquarian.
Greta
Yeah.
said, Doc, he says
I
to Greta,
like-
we cannot stay here. This is
No,
not,
nine.
they know where we're at. We need to
Perhaps-
find a real
perhaps we
place
should
to
call
go.
the library and see if they are all right. And I'm gonna lay Jack and Einstein down by the door, so if we have to go, they're convenient to drag out this time. Because I'm sick and tired of dragging them up and downstairs.
Yeah, we have to find a place that like 18,000 people don't know where we're at.
I do know some people, but I don't believe Fraulein Ives' new companion would be very welcome with them.
Who do you know? Dwight does not care right now. We have to find an
There's
actually
this-
hidden spot.
There is this lovely Italian restaurant.
You're gonna rely on the Dagos? Are you kidding me? That's what Dwight says. I mean, he's just like had every national.
Do you think the Nazis will attack them?
At this point, Doc, I don't know what the hell to think. I mean, literally. I mean,
Yeah.
Dwight's like holding
Elia-
side. He's like, here I am again.
Well, Elia isn't here to give input, but because I think he might have something to say about my idea. But I don't know where he went. Probably to the bar at dinner or something. Let me ring the library real quick, and she's gonna try to call the New York City Public Library.
Research department.
Yeah.
When you hit the first switchboard, when you say, New York Public Library, it's on fire.
What?
We're receiving an emergency alert that it's on fire.
Oh, so I should probably cancel my afternoon plans then. Thank you.
Yes, probably. And then
Thank you.
she,
No, they set the bookstore on fire.
What?
Oh, they set the library on fire. The New York City Public Library.
Oh, what? And me?
outside as Kate and Sabella
Dwight
pull
checks
up.
on Jack, make sure
I'd like
Jack's
for them to
okay.
walk in as she's going, well, I think they set the library on fire.
The library.
Phil
And-
Castillo walks in completely naked as he just kind of pads in and looks around and opens the door for Kate to bring in Sabella, who is also naked but wearing a flight suit.
Thank you.
Uh,
A really cute flight jacket, frankly.
I look adorable.
Yeah. As we're walking in,
Am I still unconscious?
Poor
though?
Syl Jefferson. She's really like,
She's
Hey,
here. Calm
hey.
down.
yeah,
Our
everybody
scene.
got there. Yeah.
Calm down, Steven.
So
Go ahead.
I'm carrying Sabella in behind Phil, and as we're coming in, I'm saying, so Mr. Castillo, look, we're not going to be able to stay here for long, and I'm imagining that you might have some ideas about some safe places where we could just lay low for a little while. Do me a favor, would you find yourself some clothes to put on or something too? I'm just going to take her upstairs. And
You see unconscious people also as you walk.
yeah,
You could just add her to the pile of unconscious bodies that we've been collecting.
what in all 9 levels of Dante's Inferno have y'all been up to?
But Joseph Dietrich came with some
Yeah,
rather interesting insectoids. And so insects like humans, and they collapsed Fraulein Jefferson's building. It is rubble now.
sounds like
Yeah, you
just
guys, you guys notice that Syl's kind of over in the corner crying a bit as she's lost everything she ever fucking owned.
right. That's
I'm
my
sure we can dig
question.
through some of the rubble later. You're on the top story, so it would be on the top of the rubble.
welcome to the club, Syl. All right, I'll be right back. We'll figure out what we're going to do next. And I'm going to take Sabella up to her room.
I'm gonna start medicining Einstein.
Phil walks over, still completely naked, to Dwight, and he goes, "Hey, soldier boy, you got some cigarettes? Lost mine."
Dwight kind of is like, eyes him up.
Huge.
Can you make your fire? Oh my. Well, listen. Yeah. Dwight would probably shoot him right then and there.
Steven, I'm over there.
Yeah, I could kill him right now, but I
Yeah.
won't.
So, thanks.
Dwight looks at him and says, he kind of cross-eyes him. Like, oh, like the shoes on the bottom rung's on top now.
Yeah, I'm fucking naked. I got my ass handed to me. Can I have a cigarette, soldier boy?
And then Dwight kind of, there you go, Italian. Enjoy yourself.
Hey, he puts one in his mouth and he flicks like he's lighting a lighter, but there's no lighter, and his thumb's just burning as he lights a cigarette. And
Dwight goes, "What happened to you, bud?"
Hey, you don't look
Dwight's
so
already fucked up. So
you don't look so fucking good yourself. All right, I mean, you look better than the last time I saw you. But I mean,
he goes, "That fucking German."
Yeah, fuck that fucking. He gives you back one of your cigarettes. Yeah, fucking German.
Dwight kind of smokes it. He's like, Dwight takes it. He's like, "Yeah, fuck that fucking German, man."
Yeah. Motherfucker, man.
Greta's just sighing.
Dwight would check on Jack.
Yeah. Can she hand Castillo her lab coat? Because she's still not wearing it. It's in her bag. Puts this on.
It's Peter North, apparently, the way Jeech talked. Yeah.
Do you have
Ron Jeremy.
Is this no, please. Way too chiseled for that. Do you have sentimental value with this lab coat?
Not really. Also, I do know Fraulein Ives was hoping to investigate it later, so please try not to burn it till then.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, if this thing's anywhere near me and I've got to, torch up, then
Please refrain from
gone.
doing that unless you have to. She's just gonna
well, I'm saying, it's been a rough day, okay? I'm not going to hesitate. Even if it burns this place to the ground, I feel bad about it. But I ain't fucking hesitating, So
I'm
he
assuming it
hands
had something
he
to
hands
do
the
with the letter.
he hands the jacket back and he goes like, "You're a doctor, right? He's a soldier. Everybody else is fucking unconscious. Who cares, right?"
Did Sawyer leave at this point?
Yeah, we're gonna say Sawyer is not in the building
Right.
and not
That's
in the
my
scene
question.
right
Where
now.
is Sawyer?
Yeah.
Well, I will need to go out and get some medical supplies soon because everyone just keeps getting very injured.
At this point, I would have laid Sabella on her own bed, still in my flight jacket, and then come back downstairs. And as I'm coming into the end of this conversation, I walk straight to Phil Castillo, and I say, "Now, Mr. Castillo, I'm grateful for your help, such as it was in the library, but I just have one question. How is it that you ended up there at the precise moment that we were having a conversation with my friend Sabella? That just seems very, very strange to me. Can you explain that?"
I wonder.
Yeah, easy. I need a help.
So as he's even beginning to speak, I'm gonna cold cock him right across the jaw, and I'll crit it.
Okay. So, roll me a fighting brawl. And are you going for damage? Are you going
No,
for...
I'm not going for damage. I'm pride damage as much as anything.
Right, damage.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and just roll it just so we know what it is. Doesn't matter. This is a... let's see. Unarmed fighting.
Yeah, sorry,
roll an
wrong
unarmed
one.
fighting. Yeah, so I told you the wrong thing.
No, that's cool. There you go.
Okay. So, you smash him across the face, and he luckily had the cigarette in his hand when you hit him across the face.
I was waiting.
And he looks back up, and you realize that it didn't do much to him. The skin gets red where you hit him, but it didn't. You don't see him kind of shaking it off or checking his teeth or anything. And he takes a draw of the cigarette and he goes, "I like you, Kate. I'd have punched me too."
Yeah. Welcome to the Olympians, Mr. Castillo. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do next.
At that moment, the phone rings.
Would you like me to get it?
No, let Kate get it.
Who's nearest to the phone?
Let's say Kate, you are, because it would either be Kate or Dwight, because you guys were both relatively
Dwight
the same
ain't
places.
answering no phones.
All right. There was that moment. Welcome to the Olympians. Now let's figure out what we're going to do. And if he's getting ready to say anything, I just go, "Oh," and then pick up the phone. Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore. May I help you?
Miss O'Callahan? It's Ruby.
Ruby, where are you?
You can hear noises in the background. I saw something in the newspaper that you all brought in, Sill's newspaper. I saw a picture of somebody. Name's Pete Abraham. I saw his picture. He was younger, but my parents had it in our cabin.
What?
A bunch of people, but I never knew his name. They always just called him Dionysus. And that's where we'll end it this week. Ladies and gentlemen, a new Olympian will be joining the fold next Saturday as one Pete Abraham, otherwise known as this gentleman, will be popping up for a bonus episode next Saturday night at 9 o'clock, or as soon as I can get done Learn by Play. Just to give you a little teaser, Honest Pete Abraham is currently an alderman here in the city, state, and county of New York. He is also very good friends with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who will also be making an appearance next Saturday night. Join us as we meet Dionysus, one of the original Project Kronos Olympians. It should be fun. But But until then, let's talk to our Project Athena Olympians and see what they had to think about tonight. So, Allison, what do you think?
There's a reason we don't do missions in New York City. We're dangerous. Things just blow up when we're around. I'm not sure how it happens, but damn, that was amazing. I'm at a loss for words. That was pretty damn incredible. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks to all the Olympians in play and those Olympians that are in chat as well. Thanks for everybody in chat. Thanks for crits and advantages and all that good stuff. And thank you to Greg.
You're welcome. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson, the 2 L's and a Y. Catch me on Wander Quest. Really interesting stuff getting ready to happen in Wander Quest over the next few weeks. So check it out if you haven't already. And it's not too far along to kind of get caught up. I think we're on like episode 15 if you've never heard of it before. It's D&D 5e for women on a quest. Check it out. It's really cool. Catch me on God's Fall as well. And that's it, I think. And hanging here on Sunday nights because I love y'all.
Awesome. Lauren, what did you think? You got the flame on. That was pretty cool.
Fucking amazing.
Oh my god, these last 3 sessions have just been everything that I love. It's been so much fun, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see where all of this goes. You can find me on Twitter at @saltyginger, and I am DMing tomorrow on Encounter Roleplay at 1 p.m. EDT, some D&D 5e. We're getting to the last 3 episodes of my time as Dungeon Master, so come check it out.
Excelente. Yes, the crew is fantastic, and you wrangle them quite well with your tales of craziness. I love it. Steven, what do you think, buddy?
I think it's pretty cool. Thank you. You catch me at work a lot. Watch all these people: Allison, Lauren, Greta, Sawyer, the piece here. Everybody, fantastic job. I don't know where we go from here because everywhere we go, people follow us. So we need to find somewhere safe and sound that we can actually rest for a bit. But I want to appreciate where we're at with it.
Great, buddy. Lindy, what do you think?
I was laughing so much tonight just from like, we're fucked. We're all fucked. Oh god, we're all gonna die. I thought the past few sessions have been absolutely amazing. I love being in New York City. I wish we could experience New York City a little bit more without people trying to murder us. But, it's been super awesome. I'm still hoping to get a little bit of Sabella Greta girl time in at some point here soon before we go back out on another mission to maybe Berlin? Who knows? Greta is less enthused with how things have been going. She's really tired of carrying unconscious Jack downstairs and out of burning or falling buildings, and she just wants to science so bad. But can't wait for next week to see what happens. Super excited. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitter and Twitch. Here every Sunday night for this amazing, fantastical, wonderful thing we call Pub Cthulhu. Tuesday nights on the Tomes and Tentacles podcast with this guy playing Estelle Graves, super creepy mortician who's apparently charming but bland. And then Tuesday evenings on my channel, I run Out of the Abyss, and it's super fun. We take a lot of time doing stuff because we're hilarious. Wednesdays, Counter Roleplay in the afternoons. More Call of Cthulhu, and we're about to have a showdown here in the next few weeks. It's almost the finale, so gotta catch that. Thursdays, Land Between Two Rivers on WebDM channel. It's super cool, super exciting, really unique setting. Fridays, currently on Fridays on the Greyhawk channel, I'm doing the Tomb of Horrors, and it's really scary. But later this month, it's not March anymore, in the afternoons, also on this channel, Firefly RPG soon. So super stoked about that. And then, yeah, that's it.
Awesome stuff. I love you guys so much. Playing with you guys is an absolute blast. I want to give a shout out to my man who's in chat. Foggin is in. He is going to be jumping in as our man, Alderman Pete Abraham. Honest Pete Abe will be taking the reins as he's going to be joining us on Saturday night to become the latest in hopefully a long line of heroes. Look on my Twitter. Please follow me, Grimjack21502. You're going to see a lot of campaign done by our great Allison, who has done a lot of campaign posters for Pete Abraham. They will be popping up this week. A lot of quotes from Pete Abraham that have been provided to me. They are fantastic.
I'm a big fan. I'm voting for him. I'm totally voting for him.
You guys are going to love this character. I'm telling you, it's different than anything we've had so far. Next week on Saturday, starting at 9 or as soon as I can get out of Learn by Play, we're going to have our bonus episode featuring Pete and some of the Olympians that you see here. We will have our following episode on Sunday. We will not have Sabella with us, but she's currently sleepy. So we'll have to see whenever she decides to wake up. Will Phil get his pants back? Does he want to? It's a toss-up at this point. Anyway, you can find me, obviously, here. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some Reign of Terror over on Encounter Roleplay. Tuesday, I will be doing some Spelljammer with WebDM. Super duper fun. Wednesday, Call of Cthulhu. And Wednesday evening, Unmade Gaming's channel, Mike, I'm going to be doing some City of Mist where I play Gepard Caparelli, who is Geppetto. It's super fun. Then let's see, on Saturday, it's Learn by Play. And yes, coming later this month on this very channel, we have some Firefly action with Pro Restarter, Laugh Love Lindy that you see here. We've got Encounter Josh. We've got Laura Lania. And who's my last person? Oh, Eric Vulgaris will be here. So we've got an all-star cast. We're going to be having some fun, going back to the verse. And I'll let you know who the first NPC is right now. His name is Mild Bill, and he's played by Matthew McConaughey. So we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2018, but we'll see you in 6 days on Saturday for Pete Abraham's one-shot back in 1933. Take care of yourselves, everyone.